All right. It might sound ridiculous that I'm mic'd up for a meeting with 5 of us, but I'm also mic'd up so that I can be recorded and we can post this online in case anyone's not able to be here. Hi. If we haven't had the chance to meet, my name is Marcos. I'm the Director of Youth Ministries here at Apex, which means I get to work alongside some of our other awesome Apex staff, including Dana, and helping to kind of shape some of the discipleship experiences of our youth. You are here because we are getting ready to celebrate our 20th year of AOSP. If you don't know what AOSP is, it stands for Apex Outreach Service Project, and it is a week-long mission project for our high school students, but it involves youth and adults from across our family of faith communities. It's one of the events that we do collectively as a family of faith. I'm going to shut these doors real quick. All right, so for us, participants will be working in work teams to do home repairs, primarily for senior adults in Apex and around Wake County. Right now we're looking at some potential sites in Chatham County, but it's a local mission project essentially. Typical work includes painting, siding, flooring, building ramps. It really just kind of depends on what the projects were. Last year, I know we did everything from power washing vinyl to jacking up a house in Holly Springs. Like, the projects really just kind of range, and we have a lot of people with a lot of experience to help guide our kids through it. Looking at the info sheet, eligible youth are rising ninth graders to graduating seniors, adults are leaders 21 or older. We also try to have college students partner with our teams. And they serve as volunteers in some other capacities as well as being attached to work teams. And then AOSP 2019 will cover July 14th through the 20th. So those are kind of broad strokes about the overview of AOSP. Are there any questions about that? Cool. A typical workday schedule that you have in front of you. So AOSP starts on Sunday afternoon. It starts at 4 o'clock and we'll get checked in and everything. We have some programming that night. But then Monday through Friday, a typical workday looks like a 7 o'clock wake-up call. We'll have morning devotional in the circle out front. We'll eat breakfast here, and then from 8:30 until about 4:30, teams are off on their sites. So they'll all get into 15-passenger vans and head out to their various sites, be on the work sites all day. They'll have bag lunches. They'll make their lunches as part of the breakfast time, and then they'll be out on sites all day. They get back here to Apex about 4:30, and then from about 4:30 to 5:30, 6 o'clock, they are at home getting showers. We ask that everybody be off campus. There won't be adults here. Our adult work team leaders are also going home to get showers. So everyone's off site from like 4:30 to 5:30, 6 o'clock. 6 o'clock, we gather back. We'll circle up outside. Typically, we have like some sort of short activity. Share where do we see God at work that day. One night I knew we do a game called the homeowner game, where each team tries to tell as many different facts as they know about their homeowner, because an important part of AOSP is not just the work that's being done, but it's also the relationships that are being built between the different work teams and their homeowners. Oftentimes we have ongoing relationships with homeowners where either we'll follow up with them throughout the year, or it may even be that we end up going back to their house in future years. I know that one of our longtime work leaders, his name's Bruce Shannon, has been at the same project house, I think for 3 years now, and oftentimes we'll check in on her. We have other stories of work team leaders who build relationships with their homeowners and then keep in touch with them throughout the year. We'll have dinner here, and then your team has team chores. Those change every day, and we'll be sure to tell you what they are. And then you have a little bit of free time. At 8 o'clock, we'll have what's called evening gathering, or our evening worship service. We'll have a different speaker every night, a worship band that comes in. And we'll also have a chance to do some big games there as well. Then we have some free time, and then quiet time, getting ready for bed at 10:30. lights out at 11 o'clock, all ready to go again at 7 o'clock the next morning. Just some of the logistics for AOSP. Again, it starts on Sunday at 4 o'clock, and then it ends on Saturday at 10 o'clock after cleanup. We ask that people commit to being here all week. One of the both joys and challenges of having a local mission project is that it can feel easy to jump in and out, but we ask that you commit to being here for the whole week and participating in all the programs because your work team is depending on it. The logistics of having 140 kids going in and out makes it difficult, so we just ask that you commit for the entire week. We'll be staying here on the Apex campus. We'll be sleeping in the Discipleship Center, which is the building across the circle, if you're unaware. And then they'll be going home again for showers each night. Teams are ideally 8 to 10 students. We've had them go up to 12. We don't like to go above that. And then 2 to 3 adult leaders as well, maybe a college student working on a project. But we feel like that 8 to 10 number is the best number because it allows the team to really get to know each other, but also allows them all to be busy doing work. If you start to get bigger than that, you have people standing around. So registration will be open from March 10th to April 8th. We will then spend the next few months, April to May, making sure that we get all of our adult leaders lined up, secured, and then teams will be told of who's on their team in early June, and then work team leaders will be contacting their individual teams to set up meetings, to pass along any last-minute logistical things, what to bring in late June. This year, the cost is $250 per youth participant. This includes all meals, transportation, supplies, t-shirt. Work team leaders do not pay a fee, and they will also receive tuition for one of their own participating children. So if you or a spouse wants to participate through AOSP, your child would get a free week of AOSP. On the back, one of the things that makes AOSP go, one of the things that makes AOSP possible is that all the parents help out in some way. Parents of all student participants are required to volunteer in some capacity. There's a lot of different ways to help. As part of the registration, you'll fill out a questionnaire of which of these kind of responsibilities you would rather do, rating them 1 to 5, and then our volunteer coordinator helps line everybody up. So if you can't commit to being there all week, there are a variety of different tasks that you can help with, either throughout the week or at the beginning with setup or at the end with van cleaning, those kind of things. And then again, if you're planning to be a work team leader where you would be on site with a team, leading them in a project, you do not need to volunteer for one of the other parent volunteer tasks. Any questions about that so far? Yes?
So would this count as like service hours?
Yes. You would need to talk to your individual school to see how many hours get to count. I think it's Apex Friendship. They won't count all the hours that you would be on a work site. Like there's a max capacity number of hours that you can count towards whatever your service project goal is. But you'd have to check with your individual project coordinator or whatnot. Okay? Other questions?
Do you have to bring a sleeping bag and all that?
Yeah, so bring a sleeping bag or a cot, and we'll be sleeping in the classrooms in the upstairs of the DC. Yeah. It tends to be random. We've had, we do a lot to make sure that the teams are a balance of age, of gender, of experience. And so because of that, we can't promise that you would be on the same team as your friend. But we do our best to make sure that the teams have a good mix. So. Yes?
What's the online orientation about?
Haha, glad you asked. So as part of registration goes live next Sunday, and you can get a link to it at apexumc.org/ym. You'll fill out the registration through our church system called ACS. And then as part of that, there is a mandatory rules class. In the past, we had done this, we'd offer it twice and ask people to be at one of them, where it kind of goes over all the rules of AOSP. In order to make it easier on us and you, we are now turning that into an online thing. So there will be a link to an online rules class that you would then click on, enroll in the class. You would watch a couple of videos and then answer a few short questions about the videos to let us know that you actually watched them. Save and submit, and then we would get a receipt that you have completed the course, and that is part of your registration. So in order to ensure that everyone takes it, we've done it through this online class system. In order for your registration to be completed, you have to have completed the rules course. So that'll either be something that is on your confirmation page or something that we email out the next day after we find out that you've registered. We're still working on the delivery mechanism for that. Have either of you had to take a confirmation makeup class? Okay. If you've had to do a confirmation makeup class, it's through the same kind of system. Just other things to make sure that you know, make sure that we hit on. Complete and submit a registration form. These are available on our website, apexumc.org/ym. They are notarized student med forms that we need on hand in order for you to be able to participate in mission work with us. So make sure that you fill out one of those, the student participation/medical release form. Submit again, the cost will be $250. I believe the deposit is $100. I believe the deposit is $100, and that'll be due as part of the registration. You can make checks payable to AOMC and include AOSP in the memo line. And then we want to make sure that you have a tetanus shot, that it's at least 5 years current. Adult work team leaders, complete and submit the registration form online, ensure that you've had a tetanus shot within 5 years, and then we'll follow up with you to make sure that we have any of the other available things that we need for you, including safe sanctuaries training. If you're going to be driving a van or a bus, that you get van or bus training, and that we get your medical release form as well. Comments, questions, concerns, or snide remarks?
So for the sleeping and all that, is it going to be based on age or gender, or how is it going to be done?
Yeah, that's a good question. So it is based on gender, definitely. It's based on gender. Last year, things were a little different. We had a very big group for AOSP last year, and so all the guys, except for the senior guys, were downstairs. And the senior guys had a room in 410 at the end of the hall. And then the rest of the girls were upstairs. We typically don't say like juniors in this room, seniors in this room, sophomores in this room. And part of that is because part of what we'd like to do in AOSP is have that intentional mixing. It's the opportunity for you to get to know people not only in your grade, but across campuses, across grades, across genders. And so the sleeping rooms allow us to kind of like add an intentional element of mixing into that. We have not decided if for like logistical purposes, if we need to block out like, this is the 8th grade girls room, or rising 9th grade girls room, this is the 10th grade girls. In the past, it has been more of a, these are girls' rooms, these are guy rooms, sort yourselves. Others. I am wholly biased, just going to go ahead and admit that, but I think AOSP is one of the best things our family of faith does. I've had an opportunity to work for a couple of different churches, and both the fact that it's a local project and the kind of work that we do through AOSP is really unique across the churches that I've been a part of. The idea that our family of faith has been for the last 20 years, this is our 20th year, intentionally going out and building the community around us, kind of teaching youth that mission work isn't something that you have to go far off to do. It's something that we can do in our own backyard. is really beautiful, but then also just the caliber of work that the kids do and the empowerment that they get in order to tackle some of these projects. I remember my first year going on one of the sites, and I was like, we're going to let like high schoolers can do this work, and sure enough, they knocked it out. They did a great job, and our work team leaders do a great job of kind of coming alongside them. We have a lot of veteran work team leaders that come back year and year again. And so if you're thinking about being a work team leader, that is something that we also take into consideration, is partnering veteran work team leaders with people who are new to AOSP, or help them learn the ropes. Anything else? All right. More information will be, I believe is already on the website, and registration opens up on March 10th. Thank you guys for being here today. If you have any comments or questions that you want to ask personally, I'll be up here and you can come ask them. Thanks.